Through success and controversy, Mark Zuckerberg has certainly made a lot of capital with the growth of his parent company, Facebook. So what does the father of Facebook spend his money on? He doesn't seem to be the one to sport flashy clothes and cars. His life on the surface is as simple as can be. But let me assure you that the luxury is there. Zuckerberg just likes to keep it to himself. Zuckerberg has bought several properties to his name, and with a net worth of nearly $99 billion, he should have more than enough to pay for them. Stick around till the end of the video to catch a glimpse of all the amazing real estate the Facebook founder owns, apart from his dual mansions on Lake Tahoe. That's right. Not one, but two properties were bought by Mark Zuckerberg in 2019. When you own a huge public network, you need some place that has been ripped off of the busy hustle of a city or town. Lake Tahoe has been a go-to destination for many politicians, actors, models, and tech millionaires for their privacy. Zuckerberg has a history of purchasing properties away from society and has huge demands for his privacy. But we'll go over them later. Lake Tahoe drew attention in 2017 with a massive mansion called Crystal Point put up for sale. This huge home was being sold for $75 million. That's a very expensive house for common citizens of the United States. Homes along Lake Tahoe offer both scenery and privacy. Due to this, they reeled in a crowd of the wealthy and famous for a piece of the land. Before we talk about them, though, let's talk about Mark Zuckerberg's properties. One of the two properties is called the Carousel Estate. Its style reflects old-school English royalty. It was built during the 1930s. The other property is Brushwood Estate and is the larger one of the two. It is also the older one, with its construction dating back to the 1920s. Both places cost Zuckerberg an estimate of $60 million, and he bought two properties because of privacy concerns. That's right, he didn't need two large estates. But I guess he also didn't want noisy neighbors. The two estates together make 600 feet of private waterfront near the Timberland area south of Tahoe City. Local real estate agents claim that homes on this stretch rarely go up for sale. They're usually passed down through the same families. The agents also said that the area is known for less flash and more hunker in the woods, just like how Mark seems to like it. Zuckerberg bought the properties through a company named Golden Range, and used wealth management firm Iconic Capital as the middleman of the deal, according to public records. Real estate agents involved in Zuckerberg's search were required to sign confidentiality agreements, saying that they were prohibited from revealing Zuckerberg's identity and requiring them to remove images of the properties from the internet. It's almost crazy how secretive Mark Zuckerberg can be. The Carousel Estate was formerly owned by the family of the late investment banker Robert Quist. Zuckerberg got the property for $22 million. In 2017, the price was at an all-time high of $30 million. The estate's guest house has 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom and a separate 2-car garage. Mark must have frequent guests. But the guest house might likely be used for Mark's team of bodyguards. The main building has 8 bedrooms and 9 bathrooms, so the guest room seems kind of fitting now. The house has high ceilings to give it a grand look. It also has its separate garages. The house is split into different living quarters, and the quarters are connected with open hallways, kind of like living in a castle. The Carousel also has a private docking pier big enough to support a large yacht. The outdoor also features a stone barbecue with a patio and picnic benches that offer a calm and serene lakeside view. Both of the estates are surrounded by trees to make the scenery as nature-friendly as possible. And of course, Mark can enjoy his natural privacy as well. The second larger adjacent property, known as the Brushwood Estate, has been owned by San Francisco philanthropist Tamara Fritz since 1996 and had been on the market for $45 million in 2017. Zuckerberg ultimately bought it for $37 million. The 6.2-acre property served as the setting for the League to Save Lake Tahoe's annual Oscar de la Renta fashion show lunch, an event widely considered to be the social event of the summer season. The property dates back to the 1920s and has a 6,954 square foot main house with 6 bedrooms, 5 full bathrooms, and 2.5 bathrooms. The guest homes are divided into two separate buildings that have 2,526 square foot and 1,531 square foot living spaces. The property also has a large garage and a barbecue area, just like its neighbor. The Brushwood has an outdoor hot tub that lets the owner relax with nature. The main house also has a wine room. Brushwood also has its own private dock. Zuckerberg may opt to raise the properties and build afresh, according to people familiar with the properties. Local agents said if combined, the property would be one of the most expensive ever sold in Tahoe. Zuckerberg's penchant for buying multiple properties started years earlier in Palo Alto, a charming city in the heart of Silicon Valley, about 3 miles from Facebook's Menlo Park headquarters. After buying his 5-bedroom home in the Crescent Park area for about $7 million in 2011, he and Miss Chan bought up 4 neighboring homes. They paid more than $43 million for all 4 homes, which was actually far above the market rate. In one instance, they paid $14 million for a 3,800 square foot home that had last sold in 1995 for $1.2 million. Guess they just had to have the house. Zuckerberg has also bought a real estate property about 30 miles north in San Francisco, where he owns a home in Noe Valley, an increasingly popular and pricey neighborhood known for its laid-back, stroller-friendly vibe. Zuckerberg bought the property for $10 million in late 2012. Agents at the time said it was a record for the neighborhood. The 2-story house was built in 1928 and sits on 9,800 square foot lot with 70 feet of sidewalk frontage. As in Palo Alto, Mr. Zuckerberg's home is in a slightly less expensive location, one whose residents are not accustomed to the wants of billionaire neighbors. According to a local real estate agent, the exact location of Zuckerberg's home has him on the border of Noe Valley and the Mission District, which is a slightly grittier area and certainly not where you'd expect to find someone of his wealth and stature. But this changed when Mark Zuckerberg finally decided to buy a property that reflected his net worth. He acquired more than 700 acres of beachside property in Kauai, Hawaii, for more than $100 million in 2014. That's like buying an entire island. He became snarled in a dispute over a tiny portion of it. The dispute centers around 4 parcels, which comprise about 2 acres, in the boundaries of Mr. Zuckerberg's property. Known as Kuleana lands, they were granted to native Hawaiian families in the mid-1800s and have been passed down. For more than a century, the land has been partially owned by the Raposo family, who acquired it after emigrating from Portugal. In 2016, Zuckerberg joined forces with Carlos Andrade, one member of the Raposo family, to file suits against the others and try to force a sale of the lands, a procedure permitted under title laws at the time. Mr. Zuckerberg later dropped the suits following a significant local backlash. Upon reflection, I regret that I did not take the time to fully understand the quiet title process and its history before we moved ahead, he wrote in a letter published in a local newspaper. But Carlos later won 3 of the 4 parcels at auction for over $1 million. So which Mark Zuckerberg property was your favorite? Let us know in the comments down below. Like the video and don't forget to share it with your friends. We'll see you in the next one. Until then, hope you stay awesome.